all special guests we have here today, and we'd also like to remind everyone to please turn off all cell phones. Up first is Siera, and introducing her is Sarah Hansen.
It came as a surprise that I had such a hard time thinking of something to say about Siera. Siera and I have 425 mutual friends. We like 64 of the same things, and we have attended 5 of the same events. Of course, this is not completely true, but this is how our relationship is defined according to Facebook. And Facebook is the official source of everything social. We share a special bond, visible by our entry into a civil union on the aforementioned site, a bond most people probably don't and won't experience. Originally, I was going to tell an extended story that I thought would sum up our relationship pretty well. However, she rejected my idea, saying I wasn't allowed to embarrass her to that extent. I was then going to share a number of shorter stories, but most of them would be considered inappropriate for one reason or another. Siera and I have a very open relationship with really no boundaries, which leads to some very odd situations, like her taking her computer into the bathroom and proceeding to write on my wall to keep me updated on her progress while I was in the next room. These moments are what have shaped our relationship. However, to really understand Siera, you have to understand her core principles. The list is too long to run through in its entirety, but the first and most important is that there is no unacceptable place to go to the bathroom. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Even if you're sledding in a populated area of kids and parents with few trees for protection. Siera, never lose your sense of adventure. I don't know where life will take you, but keep marking your territory all over it. And keep me updated while you're at it. I love you. Good luck on your speech. Well, the time has come that I have to stand up and talk about something that makes me sound exciting enough to keep everyone's attention. Although I know I lost the majority of everyone's attention already with the idea that the more you ignore the senior speakers, the faster the next hour and a half of classes will be until lunch. Sitting at my kitchen table, forcing words onto a blank document produced that first paragraph, so clearly I needed a new way of approaching this speech. I sat back in my chair, super frustrated, and thought about the things that were important enough to me that I might be able to write 3 pages about, and this is what I came up with. I look around the room and see about 90% of people in this room are stressed about something. Well, hopefully by listening to my speech, everyone will maybe get a laugh or learn how to better deal with stress. If you know me, you must be thinking, what does this girl know about stress? If you really know me, you must be thinking, oh Lord, don't get her started. We're all stressed about something at some points in our lives. It's natural. When something stressful or negative goes on in your life, your instinct is to freak out. But in the end, you just have to keep on keeping on. I want everyone to understand that life is just way too short to harbor the negative feelings and stress that life gives you. I know a thing or two about stress. I have the worst luck in the world. I am a little girl that would get in trouble with the teacher for the talking that was taking place on the other side of the room. Yeah, I'm that girl. And what used to make matters worse is that I was a crier. Yep, if I broke a Crayola and it was in my top 20 favorite colors, you better believe tears were streaming down my face for a good hour. Now, worse things than breaking crowns have happened in my life. I got Osgood-Schlatter's disease and it ruined my gymnastics career. This disease is when the tendons in your knee pulls bone off your shin because you're growing too fast. Kind of ironic for me to have a disease caused by growing too fast. I dealt with it for a couple years when the pain was too bad. So I quit. This changed my life so much. Now, no one really knows that I was a gymnast or that I won over 100 medals, 50 of which were first place. This was a serious speed bump in my life, but I pulled everything together, tried new sports, and tried to get my mind off gymnastics. It worked, and I'm glad that it happened. At the time, my life was just going downhill, but because of the way I dealt with it, it turned out to be a positive thing. Now, I just laugh about how crazy serious I used to be about gymnastics. After that really tough year, I realized bad things were going to happen to me, and it's the way I dealt with them that would define who I am. I came up with a great way to deal with the bad things that happened to me. I deal with it and get over it. This sounds simple and shallow, but it works. For example, this was my month of December. A belt in my tire broke, my Mini was a victim of a hit and run, my phone broke, my camera broke the first time I used it, and I got denied to my dream school for being .02 under the GPA requirement. My response? Taking care of the car, phone, and camera were easy. I called the insurance company, then laughed it off. Now, about the whole dream school thing, that was hard. But I didn't cry for half an hour and call my mom or anything. I cried for a good hour and a half and called both my mom and my dad twice. But I realized, if I was .02 off from their requirement and they mailed me a denial letter 2 days after receiving my application, clearly it was not meant to be. Sure, it took me 2 weeks to convince myself that everything will actually be okay, but what am I going to do? Feel sorry for myself? Feeling bad about something you can't control doesn't put you in control of it. It only makes matters worse. I mean, I already got a $17,000 a year scholarship to Bellarmine and got into pre-law program at both Marshall University and Louisville. Even though I didn't get into what I thought was my dream college, I did get into college, and I'm proud of myself for that alone. Now, I'm not saying that I never get down on myself, but I learned to laugh the small things off, especially the embarrassing ones that occur almost every day for me. For example, earlier this month, I was 5 minutes late for class because I thought I had a study hall. I realized I had class when I was walking out of the restroom, 10 seconds before I realized I had toilet paper stuck to my shoe. I bent down to get the toilet paper off my shoe, tripped, hit my head on a painting in the hallway, which started a series of bad events. The 5 by 3 foot painting fell off the wall, hit me in the head again, caused me to fall again, and I continued to knock 2 more paintings off the wall. Put them back up. I arrived to class 10 minutes late and was completely honest about everything that happened. I didn't get a point just because my story was too great to make up. This is why stress is completely unnecessary. Take a step back and think about what you can and can't control, then react. If your favorite college denied you, it wasn't meant to be. If you got a 50 on your test, learn from it and study harder. My friends, I will leave you with the complex words of a modern genius. Life is a garden, dig it.